Last December, I made a video where I reviewed Matrix Reloaded, and in that video, I teased that I would be doing a video on Matrix Revolutions to round off the trilogy. And so here we are, 5 months later, and I am finally doing the video. In my video on Reloaded, I talked about my 5 big problems with that movie. However, in the case of Revolutions, a lot of the issues that I had with Reloaded still apply. Like, there's way too much philosophical talk delivered in boring ways, and Neo is an extremely uninteresting protagonist. So in the case of this movie, there aren't enough new problems for me to do what I did last time. So instead, I will be taking a look at the worst scene in the movie and why it ruined my experience for me. And what was that scene, you may ask? Well, it was the final battle. Let me set the scene for you. Agent Smith has taken over every human in the Matrix. Neo has escaped Zion and reached Machine City, with Trinity dying in the process. He talks to Deus Ex Machina and negotiates a deal to have him pull the Machine forces from Zion in exchange for defeating Smith. The Machines plug Neo into the Matrix, and he goes off to confront Smith. Now, when I was originally watching the movie for the first time, I was wondering how they were going to top the multiple Smiths fight from Reloaded. My best guess was that Neo would somehow gain Smith's self-cloning power, and there would be an epic battle with a giant army of Smiths fighting a giant army of Neos, and they would grab each other to form Neo and Smith kaijus, and they would slug it out in the middle of the city with Neos and Smiths flying all over the place, until Neo tricks Smiths into trying to take over his body, and the machines would supercharge Smith and kill him, and go! It'd be so cool! Well, too bad, because they did not do that. You want to know what they did instead? Neo and Smith just flew around the city, punching each other. This is a trend that I've noticed in superhero movie fight scenes where, both the hero and villain can fly. Superman versus General Zod, Shazam versus Dr. Sivana, Human Torch versus the Silver Surfer. Whenever both characters can fly, they usually end up just punching each other in a air-based flight where they're just flying around the city and knocking each other into buildings. Since as normal folk watching the movies have no idea what it's like to fly, it is much harder to feel the physics as opposed to a fight taking place on the ground. Most of the time these characters are invincible also, so if they get thrown into a building, they can't feel the impact of that, so we also can't feel the impact. They're also way more of a danger to the people around them than to each other because of the amount of destruction they cause when they fight. If you want a more detailed description of what I'm talking about, then check out this video by Nerdstalgic that'll be linking in the card. He explains it way better than I ever could. It's not like a flying fight scene can't work. For example, in the show Invincible, spoilers by the way, the climactic fight scene between Invincible and Omni-Man is so impactful because the makers and the characters are aware of the destruction they're causing. So when they fight through the city, Invincible's goals shift from saving the civilians rather than stopping Omni-Man, and he desperately fails at that. The reason the train scene is so impactful is that to Invincible himself, the pain of taking a speeding train to the face is less bad than causing the death of hundreds of people. The movie Chronicle does something very similar to this, where the found footage gimmick saved the final battle from this predicament due to how it's shot from the perspective of the grounded citizen, so it's easier for us, the viewer, to feel every impact of every hit. There are plenty of other ways to make a flying fight scene work. These were just the best examples I could think of and that I could find easily. But I think the key in general to have this type of fight scene work is to do something different. Don't just have the characters flying around punching each other just like every movie ever. Just spice it up a little bit. Do something different. Unfortunately, that doesn't happen in Matrix Revolutions. Neo and Smith just fly around the city, punching each other into oblivion, and none of it has any weight. And here's my other major problem with this scene. It has no sense of progression. It feels like it goes on for way too long, but the length of a fight scene shouldn't really be a problem. Unfortunately, the lack of progression makes it feel so much more tedious and drawn out. What do I mean by that? Well, progression in a fight scene basically means that the dynamic of the fight keeps shifting. This allows for the scene to not feel like it's taking as long and to keep the viewer's attention better by switching it up at every second. A good example of progression being done right in an action scene is in Wallace and Gromit: The Wrong Trousers. And I know this is where I'm going to lose some of you, but please stick with me. The final battle with Wallace and Gromit against Feathers McGraw on the toy train is a masterclass in how to make it an engaging action scene. It starts out with Gromit dangling from the lamp, but oh no, Feathers shot a bullet through it and now he's landed on the train. And oh no, Feathers is headed directly for the door. Then Gromit presses the button and the train diverts away from the door. Phew. But oh no, Wallace is now stuck to the train. And double oh no, Feathers shoots a bullet at Wallace's car, but phew, he'll just ends up on another track that seems to have appeared out of thin air. And now he's got Feathers' gun, hell yeah! But oh no, Wallace hits the wall and goes flying out of the trousers. But phew, he lands on a cart. And now he's up next to Feathers and is about to catch him with a net, hell yeah! Oh no, the net got caught on a taxidermied moose head that seems to have been mounted on the wall. It is impossible to take this movie seriously. But phew, Wallace has landed on the back of the train. Oh no, Feathers has pulled the pin on the train and has been separated from the heroes. And double oh no, Feathers diverts the tracks. And triple oh no, they're about to crash into the wall. But phew, there's a box of tracks that Gromit was able to lay and get them back on track. But oh no, there's a table up ahead. Phew, Gromit is able to navigate around the legs. And they're about to cross paths with Feathers. And Wallace grabs him. Hell yeah. But oh no, he just grabbed the front of the train. And then Feathers crashes into the trousers. Hell yeah. And he's gone flying into the air. What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? Oh no, Gromit's crashed into the cabinet. But hell yeah, Feathers lands in a conveniently placed bottle. Gromit saved the day again. See how fun and tense that was? It keeps the viewer on edge the entire fight. It never lets up because the dynamic of the fight keeps changing and you never know what's gonna happen next. Unlike Matrix Revolutions over here, where it's just two completely invulnerable characters flying around a city and occasionally punching each other into buildings. And sometimes they stop to talk about philosophy. This scene was so boring that it actually made me fall asleep. And this is the climax of the Matrix trilogy. This should be exciting, not boring. This scene was supposed to be the epic climactic conclusion of the Matrix trilogy, but instead it was just a boring fly-around fight.